the daddy love that they didn't get, and they're seeking it in all the wrong places. And so this can lead to a great amount of suffering for that human until she realizes one day, hopefully, that aha moment happens for her. And she looks out and realizes, you know what? I've been meditating, I'm connecting with myself, I love myself, and I'm realizing that my dad did the best he could. He did the best he knew how, with whatever he was taught, whatever love he was shown, and I'm going to forgive him. I'm going to let go of all this stuff that I thought I should have got, and just let go of that heaviness of the feeling of loss, as if something did not come to you that you needed. And when that moment happens for a human, a liberation and alignment happens. And so it can come from the father energy or the feminine from the mother energy. But I want to discuss that because I have so many clients that when we get deeper and I start tuning into their energy and realizing woundedness that they are ready to clear, whether they're 20 or whether they're 70 years old, it doesn't matter. It's this vibrational cellular memory that's going on in them, and they're putting out these frequencies that came from very early childhood circumstances. And it's really important, I feel, for us as a consciousness of beings on this planet, that we really start to wake up to how much we are vibrationally affecting each other, and that we could start to really come into a place where we start honoring children very early, like really giving them honor, giving them space, giving them room to be who they've come here to be, and learning how to balance that in alignment. And so a parent that is raising a child that, you know, they didn't feel that they got what they needed, so they overshoot, and they're trying to give everything to that child that they, you know, feel they didn't get. In that situation, it can really be detrimental for that child and for the parent, because we really want to make sure that our giving is coming from our alignment and from our sense of love, and alignment is going to feel different than I have a sense of guilt or I have a sense of obligation to give. And so I feel it's a great thing for us to address in ourselves as adults, because as we heal and as we come into alignment and we really are moving through our little movie of a life, with that awareness, we are going to manifest so much more beauty and love and support than if we're coming from that place of wounded child. And I help so many clients who have a wounded child that needs to be addressed. And it's interesting because once they've addressed it and they really see it, they're pretty amazed of what I can tune into in them. And when they're really honest, they realize how that wounded child has caused them a lot of problems in their life. And, you know, there could be times that we're sitting here in our 40-year-old body and we seem pretty conscious and aware and we're mature. And then something can happen to trigger emotional woundedness. And next thing you see a grown-up throwing a tantrum, or you see a grown-up just aggressively lashing out of fear. And it's not hard to spot once you have awareness, but that is a wounded child inside of a human adult body. And so my point for today is to really address this mother-father complex that we have, where we've had it so deeply that we project it even in an external way, where we feel that we need a God that is somewhere outside of us, or we need a goddess that is outside of us. We need the approval of mother. We need father's approval. And if we don't have that, we feel like we're not enough. If mother lashes out and is angry, we can take that very personal internally and feel that we're not lovable. If father lashes out, or if father ignores us and shuns us, doesn't support us, we can take that so deeply and feel as if we're unlovable, unworthy. And so what I would love to share with each of you is that there is another way, and that is the aligned way. And it doesn't mean that You know, you can't say that you have a love for God or a love for your mother or your father. All those things are beautiful.
Love for all of that, yeah.
It's just to understand the balance and the alignment of having wholeness within yourself.
Sure.
So when you feel whole,
amen,
you're not going to mother with a need. When you're not going to your mother with a need, she feels the ease of your presence. You feel the ease of being in her presence, and love can happen. When you feel a void and you are missing that some kind of aspect of father energy, and as a wife, you go to your husband for that, he feels a tension and a resistance, and you feel that tension and resistance, and that creates suffering. So if you can see that you're shifting and realizing that I am whole, I am healed,
already whole,
I am one,
already happy,
that is the masculine and the feminine energy meshed together in balance as one.
Got it down.
That creates harmony. So it's a mental thing that if we can grasp that, and we can start shifting that internally with our awareness, we can start creating a shift where we start releasing and dropping belief systems that created a limited experience. Because many of us have these belief systems that really aren't serving us. They're actually creating more disharmony. And so I just want you to kind of play with that concept, and you know, you're going to listen or not listen. It's totally okay. I have no need to push anything on anybody, but it's something that I myself have learned from. When I was a little girl, I went through a lot of abuse with my mother, as far as physical abuse, but also really just negligence and emotional abuse, and things that, you know, caused me as a little girl a lot of suffering. And I was always wanting to be that good girl. I was always wanting to please, and what can I do to be enough? And if I get straight A's, you know, if I get my picture in the art contest, it was always like some kind of push to get that approval. And at the same time, the father I had was there at times, but also not emotionally available at lots of times. So there was that need for his approval, that need for him to see me as something valuable. And as I went through my 20s, I remember just feeling a lot of anger at my mother, and a lot of anger at things that my father, I felt, you know, when he didn't see me or he didn't give to me. And I feel that that journey was important for me, as it is, each of your journey is important for you. And we'll all have our moment of enlightenment. We'll all have our time where it's suddenly the light just shines in and you can't help but see the truth. But go gently, you know, be easy on yourselves. But I know for myself that as I was moving through all that, and I had my own children, and I was raising children and doing the best to give to them and heal the things that I felt I wasn't given. As I moved further along my path, I remember it was after my father died, and my father's death was really an intense death for our whole family because it was a suicide. And so we all really worked through a lot to, you know, release guilt and feelings that what could we have done. And I remember for a long time feeling this emptiness, like, where is my father? I need my dad. Like, I can't be okay without my dad. And I went through some depression. And people who see me today can't probably imagine that, because I really don't let my energy go in a low place very long. But there was several years that I was really angry, and I was just like, screw the world. I was not a happy girl. And the beauty of that process for me, though, was that everything comes to us to teach us something. And my suffering, I look back now, and when I'm honest, I'm just like, wow, Tanya, did you ever cause some suffering for yourself? And I really see that now, that it wasn't others that caused me suffering. My dad's death even was his right and choice to choose when he was ready and how he wanted to go. And my taking that personally and my feeling like I didn't have a father and so I was broken, that was me. That was totally how I took that situation, and I internalized it, and I caused myself a lot of suffering. And I say that for each of you just to encourage you to realize that we all have had our human experiences, and if you're in a place like that right now, or you have been, just be gentle with yourself. Really, forgive yourself for the times that you've been confused and lost. Really have compassion on how far you've come and pay attention to that. But also really be open to waking up, be open to shifting. Because for myself, that life situation, which sucked, like royally sucked, it was one of my most amazing moments of transformation. When I look back, I realize some of the harshest things I've been through cultivated a great shift in me. It caused me to question. It caused me to reach out. It caused me to want to grow, to want to understand greater truth. So all of these things that come to us can greatly help us, or they can be deep, deep, moments of suffering. It just depends on what we do with them. So the reason I say that is, as I moved through all that, I remember thinking, after I'd been meditating for a while, that's why I say as you're meditating, because as you start to really tune into yourself and you connect with your own spirit, which is the whole point of all of it, it's to help you remember who you are, to bring you back to source. When I talk about the word alignment, what I mean by that is that alignment is when you are one with source. Your source of life force, your source of energy, your source of abundance, your source of love. Source energy is channeling through you completely, freely, and without any interruption. That is when you're in alignment. And when we're in alignment, we know it, because whatever it is we love and desire is just magnetically drawn into our life. We start to see the results of that alignment just from us relaxing and being at ease. What we need and desire, it comes to us so magically. And there's times I wish I could help people get that faster. But then at the same time, I realize, you know what? They're going to get it when they get it, just like I had to get it when I got it. So I feel that's the reason I'm so passionate and dedicating my life to sharing this wisdom and sharing this truth, because I know I have walked through the darkness. I have been through just about anything you can think of. I've been through a lot. Well, I've never been in a war, like in Vietnam or anything, but I've been through a lot of battle in my own energetic way, and I've learned so much from it. And that is my intention as a healer and as a soul coach, is to help people to move through their stuff, to help them move through it, navigate through that energy, drop all the past, find their alignment, come into their wholeness, and now they are an amazing vibrational match for all that they love and desire. And that's really what we're on this planet to do. That's what we're here to create. Is we came here to go through things and learn from them, and to one day really wake up and remember who we were, to come back to source, and to allow everything that we desire to come to us easily and joyously. And so with my situation, moving through that with my dad, it was so empowering, because it helped me to really realize I don't need my dad. I don't need him. I actually have this father masculine energy within me. And when that thought came in and I really grasped it, it was an amazing shift for me, because I wasn't in need of anything. I stopped needing to get this approval, and I just relaxed and realized, you know what? I am it. Like, I am the masculine feminine energy. There was a day where I remember as a young girl, when I would see, like into my 20s, when I'd see mothers and daughters together, it was so painful. If I saw them having fun, I would cry. And it was because it's something I so deeply wanted with my own mother. But when I let go of that, and there was a day that came that I saw mothers and daughters together, and I could smile, and I was so grateful and happy for them. And I had my children, and I realized I can be that for my children. I can be that mother to my children. Oh, sorry, a little scratch.
Wonderful mothers.
My point is that when we shift our focal point and we really understand that we have that alignment inside of us, then we're not moving through the world in a place of neediness. And when we're not needy, everything comes to us much more easily.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if any of you have been in a relationship and you've been with somebody and you're kind of feeling neglected, you're feeling a little